All right, here we go again. Welcome back, or welcome to the first time, everybody, to the Second and Long Football Podcast. I'm your host, Gabe, and of course joined by my co-host, Joe. Joe, how are we doing today? We got a week to kind of process the draft. Very exciting time. Draft, one of my favorite times of the year. So, how are we feeling about the draft after everything's all said and done, after all 7 rounds?
I felt really good after the draft. Definitely one of the more action-packed in recent years. A lot of things happening in it. And man, I've been itching to record. I've been ready to. I got my opinions set up. I know what I got to say. Let's get right into the draft. Let's get into this.
All right, so you know what? Let's just talk about some of our favorite things that happened during the draft, whether that be picks, the trades, whatnot. We got a bunch of trade ups. We got AJ Brown getting traded. We got Trevon Walker going number 1 overall. So honestly, let's start with Trevon Walker going number 1 overall, because you gotta talk about the number 1 pick when you talk about the draft.
You do.
My God, I am just so underwhelmed by this number 1 overall pick. I can't remember the last time I was less excited of a player going number 1 overall.
I know.
I don't know.
Wow.
I just don't see it.
No, and none of the experts see it either. It was sort of what's his name? Shot Khan? Yeah, it's like he likes him. This is who I thought was going number 1. I was talking about it during the draft. I thought it was going to be with between Aiden Hutchinson and Trevon Walker. It was going to be whoever they didn't take, the Lions would end up taking. And I thought the Lions, in all reality, got the better guy with Aiden Hutchinson at 2. Better value, better player.
I do too, but I don't even know if the Lions would have taken Trevon Walker at number 2, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like there were a lot better players available. I feel like the Lions could have potentially gone with a corner, not that they really needed. I guess edge was their most pressing need, and they weren't going to take a quarterback. So I guess they probably would have gone Trevon Walker. But man, I mean, before he put out a crazy workout, he was supposed to be a late first round pick. So basically, if you just look at the tape, he's supposed to be a late first round pick. So I don't understand. I guess I do understand how workouts could affect a player's pre-draft process. I don't know. It seems like an overreaction.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just workouts anymore. God, it's the combine. The combine, too. It's so insane. Trayvon Walker did the combine, right? I feel like...
Oh, yeah. He ran a 4 or 5 at the combine. So he had impressive numbers, but...
Yeah. And that bumps everyone's draft stock so much. And, I've been talking about this a lot just, with friends and stuff. You can only measure so much from the combine. I want to say Antonio Brown had one of the worst combines in NFL history for a receiver. He had just an abysmal combine. And then
didn't he run a 4.6 or something like that? I knew his 40 time was not that great.
Terrible. He was, he was slow. He couldn't bench a lot. His agility sucked. And then, oh wait, the tape says he's amazing. And what happened in the NFL? He was amazing. And other stuff. Yeah. But that's a case by case. But, the combine only says, and, workouts like that where you're not actually actively on the field, it only really says so much about a player. So for that to influence Trayvon Walker from a late first to the first overall, it blows my mind how more coaches and GMs aren't looking more at tape when it comes to who they want to take, especially with the number 1.
Yeah, right. And the thing is too, so many of these players that hold the combine records for whatever at the combine, you look at the combine records for the events, and so many of the players are players you don't recognize at all. John Ross obviously ran the fastest 3-yard dash, and the reason why most people know him is because he was somewhat recent and it was blown out with social media. But some of these are you look at the most bench presses at the combine, a lot of those players aren't really well known anymore. The most Byron Jones had the biggest broad jump. I mean, it's a world record actually at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's a fine corner,
he's fine. But not worth, spending a super high draft capital on just because he had a good workout. I don't know. It just doesn't make... I just don't understand why you wouldn't look at the tape. I can understand, like, and that's the thing is too, is Shad Khan. He heard great things about him, but clearly, if he was a football expert, I'm sure he would employ himself as the GM, but he's not, and he's still making these moves like this. Like, I'm sure Shad Khan had a huge say of Trevon Walker, but the thing is, does Shad Khan really watch his tape and make his evaluation based off of that? I'm gonna guess no.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't know. It's just, but honestly, lucky for the Lions, because I'm sure they would have much rather have Aiden Hutchinson than Trevon Walker, especially with Aiden Hutchinson being a hometown kid and all that. Growing up in Michigan, going to Michigan State, now getting to play for his hometown team. So,
well, right. I think it's the same thing for a pick 3 picks away, Ike Ekwonu. I'm pretty sure he was he played at North Carolina, I think.
NC
State, yeah. And he's back in Carolina. It's really nice to see those ones, guys staying home with the team that they like. It's their hometown team. It's nice to see. I like it.
Yeah, and most recent example, or not most recent example, but another recent example is we saw Joe Burrow go to Cincinnati and bring that team to the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
you do love to see it, and I kind of want to transition with the Aiden Hutchinson, because I want to talk about the Lions, because I think the Lions absolutely killed the first round. At least, I mean, the fact that they were to trade up from 32 to 12, and the breadcrumbs that they gave up. Obviously not breadcrumbs, but I feel like.
Are you sure? It kind of felt like a bag of saltines and a slap on the back for.
they didn't have to give up any future first round pick. Like I could have swore, like, when the trade first happened, I was like, oh, they're probably giving up the other Stafford pick that they got, but nope. All they had to do was give up 32 and 34 and 66, but then they also
66.
Get like 4.
And they got 42.
They got 42 back. Like, I honestly don't understand the Vikings thought process behind that. But from the Detroit Lions thought process, I mean, just great value, like just being able to come up. You get Jared Goff, another weapon on that offense to pair with Amon-Ra St. Brown and TJ Hawkinson. Like, man, they are putting a good surrounding core around Jared Goff. Like, I don't know. I have a good feeling about the Lions next year. I know you do as well, because you thought they could potentially go worse to first. And after this draft, it's seeming more and more likely that might happen.
Right. Well, and what's even crazier about that trade is that was an in-division trade. They're in the same division. The Vikings and the Lions are going to see each other twice next year. And for that trade, I feel like that had more to do with the Packers than it had to do with the actual Lions or the Vikings. That's my thought process, is sort of a stab at the Packers. They are a really wide receiver desperate team, and hey, there's another one knocked off the board. What are you going to do about it? So that's what it sort of looked like. It looked like it was just sort of are they going to team up on the Packers now? Just, I don't care if you get first in the division as long as it's not the Packers.
Yeah, no, I definitely would agree with you there that, well, I mean, looking after the draft now, it doesn't even seem like the Packers wanted a receiver in the first round. Jesus.
What? What was that?
Still avoiding that. Quay Walker, really, over some of the other receivers? I don't know.
I guess.
But, yeah, like, okay,
sure.
He could be good, but... I mean, you're really banking on Christian Watson now, who's like just has a lot of physical upside, but it's just extremely raw. Going to freaking North Dakota State, so competition wasn't that great over there. So I don't know.
Hey, I'm pretty sure Eastern went up against North Dakota State, and we're pretty stout. That was sarcasm. Yeah. No, we're not. Anyway, So maybe. I mean.
I don't know, but
yeah.
I mean, honestly, wouldn't be a bad move by the Vikings if that's their thought process. Like to help with the Lions. Maybe if the Lions are better, they could potentially beat the Packers and help them maybe move up in the division. But that's the thing is too. At this point, I think the Lions are probably better than the Vikings. So like, I don't know why they're like
close. At very least, it's very close. both teams have two really solid receivers. I think the Vikings overall have the better core. They both have two really good running backs, one more injury prone than the other. I would say Dalvin Cook gets hurt a little bit more often than DeAndre Swift does.
Mhm.
And both have quarterbacks with question marks on them. Kirk Cousins a little bit less, but that's not to say that Kirk Cousins is a fantastic quarterback. He's serviceable. He doesn't throw a lot of picks, but clearly with a 1-year contract that he was given, he is not their long-term answer. And I don't know. It's weird now how even those two teams feel after one only won 3 games last year and the other one went about 500.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more optimism on the Detroit side. I mean, maybe that's just because they've gone through so much despair in the past like 20 years, and now they finally have like a solid coach and a solid head coach.
It's like the Browns' resurgence. It's sort of like that. Like you feel hope for this poverty franchise. And speaking of which, notice we haven't mentioned the Bears at all.
Well, the Bears.
It's a smoking dumpster fire with no hope.
It really is.
There is no light at the end of the tunnel. And if there is, it's because it's on fire. There is absolutely no reason to be hopeful for anything in Chicago. They might be the worst team in the league next year. In fact, they probably will be.
I do predict them to be having the number 1 overall pick next year. I think it's to me it's between them and I think the Falcons are definitely up there as potentially having one of the worst teams in the NFL. So
I think the Falcons,
especially now after drafting Drake. Drake London. Anyway, go on.
I think the Falcons really were that receiver away. If Drake London can produce, then I think the Falcons can at very least climb from that absolute worst spot. Even though the Texans had a very good draft, I still think they're a second away from even being competitive in their division. I don't know, maybe Jacksonville, depending on how they do, but they're still a ways away. I think the Falcons, I think they might be one more receiver away from being not the worst team, like 5 spots up. But yeah, the Chicago Bears, I'm sorry. You're the worst. You're terrible. You're absolutely awful. Roquan Smith and David Montgomery are by themselves. I feel so bad for those two because those two they're actually really talented players.
And Darnell Mooney, you gotta lump him in there. I feel like he's a pretty productive receiver for what he's been dealt. He's produced. Not a great hand.
Yeah. Congratulations, you're the new Allen Robinson of bounce around to awful quarterbacks, never get the respect you deserve, or you will get it, but you'll be 32. So,
but I don't know. You mentioned the Falcons with the receiver pick, but I feel like there were so many better receivers that they could have gone than Drake London because you already have this big receiver and Kyle Pitts, who I know is a tight end, but I'm sure he'll flex out a bunch. Yeah, he flexes out a bunch as wide receiver and slot, especially. So you can't use him as your big slot guy because you already have Kyle Pitts who's going to do that. And I don't know. I mean, I think he could potentially turn into Mike Evans. I think that's his ceiling, but I don't know. I think
is that they're pretty much looking for a new Julio.
It's tough. That's the thing. He's definitely not going to turn to Julio because he doesn't have the athletic profile to turn into Julio. A little bit bigger, I would say. So that's why I'm thinking Mike Evans because they're both 6'4", 6'5", with a little bit slower. But I don't know. I think Mike Evans was a lot better coming out, and I don't know. I just did not like the Drake London pick. I was happy that they selected Drake London instead of someone say a Charles Cross because I'm great that he went to my Seahawks. Got a real quick little round of applause to the Seahawks for actually taking an offensive tackle. I remember I was texting you morning of the draft, because I remember I was strong, we gotta draft Derek Stingley, and I still think obviously he went number 3 overall, so he was pretty great. I think I said that he was the best corner in the draft in my eyes.
That blew my mind when he went number 3. I was like, for one, over Sauce Gardner, I was a little skeptical, but I had heard reports earlier in the day that his stock was really getting hot. A lot of teams were antsy, and I guess the Texans just, they're sort of the guys in the shootout standing in a big circle holding their hands on their holsters, and the Texans just have a bead of sweat going down their face and just pull it out and bang, bang, bang. Okay, we got Derek Stingley. Okay, woo! just pull first. And yeah, I thought that was just sort of that trigger point of just, if we don't get him now, we're not gonna get him. And they just jumped on it. And I don't know if it was the right call. I mean, you got a great player nonetheless. But whether or not he's the best corner, I mean, I guess we'll see. We got a good comparison there for the next couple of years between him and Gardner.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how their careers play out. I think you might have maybe been better off drafting Kayvon Chason, who, not Kayvon Chason, Kayvon Thibodeau. Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, huh?
And Kayvon Thibodeau, who actually I think the Jags would have been better off drafting instead of Travon Walker. I mean, if you want someone with just a physical profile, like draft Kayvon Thibodeau, not Travon Walker. But that's a different conversation. But I think, honestly, I don't mind the Derek Stingley pick at all. I think I mentioned that he was my number one corner. I would have much rather had Derek Stingley than, not much rather, but I would have rather had Derek Stingley than Sauce Gardner. And so it will be interesting to see how their careers play out. But I do think that Derek Stingley was the correct pick there. But yeah, so going back, I remember I texted you morning of the draft. I was like, oh man, maybe the Seahawks are probably just better off taking an offensive tackle at number 9. I mean, I was honestly a little bit surprised when Charles Cross fell to number 9 because I thought he could have been a potential top 5 pick.
Right.
Maybe someone could have like traded up to draft him just because of the value that there's at tackle these days. I think there were 8 offensive linemen who went in the first round.
Something like that. 7 offensive linemen and Cole Strange.
Ankle strength.
God.
What are the Patriots doing?
I love Sean McVay's joke in the press conference after the first round. Like, oh, we wasted all that time thinking he was going to be there at 104.
Yeah, and also, what's with Bill Belichick doing this? I feel like, honestly, if you look at like his entire tenure as a Patriots head coach, and you look at some of his draft picks that he's made early. Yeah,
terrible.
I mean, N'Keal Harry, Sony Michel, like
Isaiah Wynn was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, the value's there because he's a tackle at least. But my God, dude,
what is like? It's like, oh, it's Bill. He's got a plan. Does he? Like, and Mac Jones was a good pick, but that's the thing. Like, Mac Jones is going to be a solid quarterback, but is he really going to elevate your offense to the next level? I know Bill Belichick's a defense guy, so he's probably just hoping to have a solid offense, but I don't know. In the NFL these days, you got to have a good offense to win. Yeah, like you got to have firepower, and you brought a 9mm in Mac Jones versus a 50 cal in Justin Herbert, so you're up against it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Joe Flacco is not going to win a Super Bowl. Like, that's just, that team is just not how it is these days. You got to have an elite quarterback to win in the NFL. And so even like people want to talk about how great of a pick that was. And yeah, sure, it was a good pick. You got a good quarterback, but I mean, at what cost? My God.
At
like
what cost?
Okay. All right. Let's move on from Bill Belichick. I'm getting a little bit heated right now.
That's all right.
I'm not even a Pats fan.
Yeah, take inhale, exhale. Okay, go through the drills. Yeah, bring that heart rate down. Find your chi. Okay, let's actually move on to the Saints. Let's talk about the Saints a little bit.
Yeah, I do want to talk about this because they had an interesting draft because they traded future draft capital to get a first in this year's draft for, I honestly don't know what reason. I don't know if they're in a win now mode with Jameis. Like,
I guess they think they are.
I'm not really sure what the thought process. I mean, maybe this is a very deep draft class. Like the high end talent, quarterback isn't quite there. But overall, I'd say there's a lot of really good prospects in this class.
Right.
But
the furthest aren't really too far away from the top.
Was it really worth Trevor Penning though?
Oh,
was it worth it?
Yeah. I mean, they got Chris Olave, and I think that was a great pick. He'll pair up amazing with Michael Thomas when he comes back next year. Mm-hmm. But they also did draft future convict Trevor Penning, and that really didn't sit well with me. It's like, oh, okay, so the guy that has ACL problems, you're going to pair him with the tackle that loves throwing defensive ends into quarterbacks' knees. Solid planning, guys. Solid plan. What?
I was
Why?
I was so glad when Charles Cross fell to the Seahawks because I could just see Pete and John reaching on someone like Trevor Penning at number 9.
Yeah.
So thank God that the draft played out the way it did and the Seahawks were able to get Charles Cross because I would have been so frustrated.
You're telling me I was at 17. I was 2 picks away. I had my hook, like, I saw Jordan Davis get drafted at 13 to the Eagles, which the Eagles, that was a great pick for them. But of course I was like, oh, that stung a little bit, but that was good value to get Jordan Davis. But man, my friend could tell you, I had my hoodie just over my head like, we're about to draft Trevor Penning and ruin the draft. And then we didn't. And it was beautiful. And Zion Johnson is a great fit on our offensive line. And Trevor Penning is an awful fit on that offensive line. And for some reason, that makes me happy? I don't know. I'm devastated for Jameis, though. Devastated for him.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. I think, honestly, Zion Johnson could potentially be a Pro Bowl caliber guard for you guys. And I think that was the thought process, is the Chargers are definitely in a win now mode. So what would you rather have? An offensive tackle who might work out, so a more valuable position, but a less just skilled player, or just a very skilled offensive guard who, doesn't play tackle but plays guard, so less value there, but just the impact that he will have on the offensive line because of the fact of how talented he is. I think that was a great move for the Chargers to go with the guard instead of the less talented tackle, especially just because you did need both a right guard and a right tackle, because it wasn't just the right tackle that had the issues. It was both positions on that right side of the offensive line that were struggling for the Chargers.
Yeah.
And last year in the playoffs, or not the playoffs, but you're basically playoff game against the Raiders.
Yeah, and we have the 2 young guys now on the left side. We have Rashawn Slater, who has already well proven himself to be an elite tackle in this league. We have now Zion Johnson, who's going to fit right in there and be amazing. We have Corey Linsley at center, the best center in the league. Right guard or right tackle, we have Matt Filer, who is comfortable playing both. I would prefer him at guard since that's his more natural position, but if he could go at tackle and be, I don't know, a smidge better than Storm Norton, then I think that we're really well set up. Or if he could play tackle and we can get a veteran guard, or vice versa, if he can play guard and we can get a veteran tackle. I mean, Mitchell Schwartz is still out there, still unclaimed, and I feel like that would be a good fit. Expensive fit, but it would work. We have a really good offensive line, and I feel very hopeful. Unlike the Saints shouldn't feel hopeful at all. They should feel they should feel panicked. That would be fitting.
Replacing Teron Armstead with Trevor Penning is just not an ideal situation for the Saints, for sure.
Yeah, you're replacing your all pro tackle with a psychopath, so have fun with that.
Also, I will throw out a good point to the Chargers as well, is you do have, I believe they brought in Matt Filer, didn't they, who has a lot of experience playing, honestly, I think he's played both guard and tackle in the league, but he's honestly a solid right tackle. So I think bringing in Zion Johnson will also help Matt Filer play a little bit better, because he won't have to worry about the right guard next to him because of how talented Zion Johnson will be. And so, honestly, that offensive line for the Chargers is coming together quite nicely, I'll say.
It has, and that's saying something over these years of it really just being completely awful. So there's hope looking forward. And there should be some hope for the Seahawks, too. Charles Cross replacing Dwayne Brown is, that was a good call in my eyes. Dwayne is getting up there in age, and
he also wants a lot of money too, for whatever reason.
A truckload of money. So yeah, good call by the Seahawks getting Charles Cross at 9.
Yeah, no, I am quite excited. Obviously the skill positions are more exciting to draft in the first round, but for me, I've just been so tired with the offensive line that I am so pumped to have a potentially elite offensive tackle. Like, oh my God, it'll be nice. And I think the Seahawks are also doing kind of something with the Lions as well. You don't have a great quarterback at the moment right now, but if you just build the best possible scenario or situation around that quarterback and make it as least difficult as possible, I think that's a great scenario. So honestly, I've been doing a lot of thinking about the quarterback situation with the Seahawks.
Drew Lock can still work.
Drew Lock can still work, but I also think possibly bringing in Jordan Love might be a good option too. That'll be a conversation for a different day. But I'm just gonna float out the idea right now. Because I feel like no one is floating it out. I tried looking it up on my phone. Like if anyone's talking about, no one is talking about Jordan Love to anywhere. Not just Jordan Love to the Seahawks, but his name has not come up at all. So maybe he's not on the block. But anyways, we'll get into that on a different day.
I'll let that one simmer in my brain for a little bit. That's an interesting one.
Just think about it. Just think about it, because I think the Seahawks might be in a better position to succeed than other people might think, especially in a weaker NFC conference.
Okay, that's. Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, just chew on that. But you mentioned...
I'll need to sit with myself with that one for a while.
You mentioned Jordan Davis earlier going to the Eagles. And so I want to talk about the trade as well, because that was also very shocking to me. I did not expect A.J. Brown to get traded.
Jaw hit the floor when I heard that A.J. Brown
especially
was
for
gone.
That value, I don't think was that... I mean, it was a good pick, but you're basically just trading A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Treylon Burks is a great prospect, but, I mean, I would have much rather paid A.J. Brown that $25 million contract like he wanted.
Also, I just want to throw out the what Mike Vrabel said 2 weeks before the draft, addressing the trade rumors around A.J. Brown being... as long as I'm here, as long as I'm the head coach, he will not be traded.
Okay. So I guess I didn't know that Mike Vrabel also stepped down as well. Okay, so who's the new head coach of the Titans
apparently
now? That's kind of crazy.
Apparently he's gone. Apparently, nope. He's the head coach, and strangely enough, away goes A.J. Brown. Because guess what? Sometimes when people put a microphone in your face, they lie. They just lie. How could he not tell the truth? But
I know it's a little rude, but man, I can't believe it. I'm so shocked that A.J. Brown. I mean, the Eagles finally got a receiver. Dear God, it's been even since they were in the Super Bowl, they had problems with receiver, and they tried to fix it with Alshon Jeffrey, who had 1 or 2 good years with the Eagles, but clearly flamed out. You draft Jalen Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson. You draft J.J. Arcega-Whiteside instead of DK Metcalf. My God, how could you miss at the receiver position more than the Eagles have?
And I mean, Devontae Smith is kind of worked out, but that's still a wait and see situation for him. It's been just a disaster for the past several years, and now finally they have someone worth catching a ball, someone that can do that is capable of putting their hands in the air and receiving a pass. It's great to see, actually. If this doesn't help Jalen Hurts, also, if Jalen Hurts doesn't have a better year next year, he could very well be done as a starting quarterback in this league if he doesn't perform.
Oh yeah.
Because
a lot of help around him right now.
Ryan Tannehill could perform with A.J. Brown, and Ryan Tannehill is Ryan Tannehill, and we'll get into him in a minute, but he was able to succeed, and if Jalen Hurts can't with A.J. Brown heading the wide receiver room, then you're not gonna.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you who do you think? Who would you rather be catching passes from? Do you think Jalen Hurts or Ryan Tannehill is going to be the better quarterback next year? If you're A.J. Brown, do you think you're upgrading or downgrading at the quarterback spot?
Frankly, that's a good question, actually.
Right? I don't know. I would say it's a downgrade, honestly, just because of how much the Eagles also run the ball too with Jalen Hurts. So there is that.
You want to talk about running the ball? Change there, I think. You saw that FaceTime of Jalen Hurts FaceTiming A.J. Brown. They were just giggling and laughing like schoolgirls. I think that he's excited to finally be in a passing offense. But honestly, it's a smidge of a downgrade, and I only put that on Ryan Tannehill's veteran status in comparison to Hurts. But if Hurts...
Yeah, he is getting old.
Yeah, he is. And if Hurts can, know the playbook a little bit better, really have his reads down, it could very well be an upgrade next year.
Also, I will float this out there. Actually, funny enough, Tennessee and Philadelphia are both number 1 and 2 on the rushes per game. So
Really?
they're both very run heavy offense, which is what I thought, just because I know they like to run a lot of read option, and for some reason use Miles Sanders. I don't know. I think Miles Sanders is fine, but I think for some reason Philadelphia thinks that they have like this insane back in Miles Sanders, which I don't know.
I mean, their second stringer Jordan Howard didn't do too bad near the end of last year.
Yeah,
you remember Jordan Howard?
Right?
I don't think Jordan Howard remembers Jordan Howard, but
it's like, oh yeah, that guy still exists.
Yeah.
He was what, number 2 in rushing just like 5 years ago behind Zeke. That's insane.
God, yeah, he was amazing on the Bears, but yeah, guess they wanted to move on from this clearly elite talent.
Clearly, yes. I can't think of a better back than Jordan Howard at this point.
No. I can only think of 15, but anyway.
Or 35.
Yeah, 35. The entire league starters and 3 backups. Jeez.
Honestly, I feel like I could come up with that list.
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah, let's get writing. But okay. Anyway. Moving on.
Tannehill.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get into this. Okay.
We'll continue the conversation in a way, but maybe not something we were talking about on the field stuff, but now let's talk about Ryan Tannehill off the field and how he's been.
Don't we just love talking about off the field? I feel like off the field,
it's always something good, right?
Off the field has it's more fun to talk about off the field, honestly. Like on the field is great, that's where the actual football is, but seeing the humanity, seeing the how these people act versus how the players play, I don't know. I kind of enjoy it, honestly.
A lot of drama.
Let's go ahead and what's that podcast term? Let's unpack this. Let's just open this up. Let's be real and honest with how we feel. Okay, good lord. Okay, so Ryan Tannehill this past week has let's back up even a little bit more. Okay, so in the 3rd round of the draft, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In the 3rd round, the Tennessee Titans selected Malik Willis, who a small part of me thought the Panthers were going to take him at 6. I thought they were just going to have the really dumb move of the draft and get him at 6, but I'm happy they didn't. But yeah, they took him in, I want to say late in the 3rd round too.
I think it was mid, because it was after Desmond Ridder.
Mid?
It was like...
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it was the mid. I can look this up real quick, but yeah, continue.
Sure. Anyway, so they selected the quarterback, Malik Willis, and that's probably a part of their plan going forward. Now, Ryan Tannehill has come out and said that it is not his job to mentor Malik Willis, and that if he happens to learn something from him while he is there, then that's a great thing. My thoughts on that, I think that is totally fine.
Oh, you're not bothered by it?
Nope, completely unbothered. I think that is a totally fine and justified thing for Ryan Tannehill to say. And every 12-year-old in the comments is, oh my god, how could you say that? It's his job to mentor Malik Willis into a great quarterback. No, it is not. That is nowhere in the job description. That is nowhere in the contract that Ryan Tannehill signed with Tennessee. So, okay, let me set it up like this. Okay, Gabe. We're at your place of work, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We are at your job. The job that you do, the job that you are paid to do. And then I bring in, hey, here's little Malik. He's 13 years old. I want you to teach him everything you know so that in a year we can fire you and he can do your job. Also, I know that's nowhere in the contract with the form and the W-2 we had you fill out. We put it nowhere in there that you had to do this. And also, if you don't, we won't do anything, but the entire world will think you're an asshole if you don't do it. How would that make you feel? And also, microphone in your face, what do you think? What do you have to say about
Cameras
this?
point at you.
Yeah. This is at your place of work.
I mean, that's interesting, and I love, honestly, comparing NFL jobs to actual jobs, because it really does put things in perspective that people don't realize.
Yeah.
And so,
Ryan Tannehill's just at work. This is his job. He is paid to play quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. He is not paid to be a babysitter. That is not at all what he is supposed to do.
yeah, I mean, I do agree with you after, you make that point. Also, I do want to say real quick, Malik Willis was drafted in the late third. It was 86th pick, so that's what, the 22nd in the third round. So yeah, late third round pick, but unimportant. Just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I mean, is it his job to mentor him? No. Should he have come out and say it right after the draft? I also want to say no, because it doesn't seem like that was all that necessary for him to say. Yeah, it's something you can do. You could just not mentor him and just kind of do your own thing in the building, whatever. But to outright say hey, I just want everybody to know that I am not doing this. Maybe tell Mike Vrabel that, or
also it was microphone in the face. What do you think about the fact that they're actively trying to replace you? And
it was a late third. It wasn't an early first. If Malik Willis doesn't work out because of how late a draft pick it was, it does not matter. It was a complete dart throw, and there are no consequences.
He knew where he could have gone, and he knows how high his ceiling is. He knows that he's talented. But yeah, Ryan Tannehill, every day, his focus should be where I think it is, be the best quarterback that you can be, day in and day out. That is his focus. And, some people try to link this to, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Back when Aaron Rodgers got drafted at 24, and he would make everybody regret it. Meh. And Brett Favre also came out and said that I'm not going to mentor him. That's not my job. I feel like there was actually, resentment. It felt like Brett Favre hated Aaron Rodgers for just being there at all.
I also feel like Aaron Rodgers makes people... I think Aaron Rodgers has also kind of said some things that makes it seem like that. So I feel like
Aaron Rodgers is really good at making people hate him. I mean, that's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. It's just, dude, no one really likes you all that much. You're kind of a dick.
Except for Packers fans,
Except for Packers fans, they live and breathe Aaron Rodgers. But another thing that I think it is good to mention with looking at how Tannehill has handled all of this, two things. One, Tennessee did not tell Tannehill that they were going to go quarterback. They didn't tell him that they were going to take Malik Willis. And two, when they did take Malik Willis, Ryan Tannehill actually did call Malik Willis and congratulate him for being drafted. So it's
okay. That's good. Yeah, that's something, I guess.
So the way I see it is, it's sort of I almost think it's respectful for him to say that, to not, be upfront with how he feels, not give that expectation of, I have to mentor you, but it's sort of just a hey, you're here, that's fine. I don't feel any resentment towards you, but this is your journey, and it's not my job to make you amazing. That has to be on you. Because that was how Tannehill came up. He didn't really have anyone to sit behind for a while. He had to come in and be good right away. So I think it's a good dynamic to set that, there's not that expectation. It's not forced.
Yeah, I hear you. I think a lot of it is out of context too, because a lot of people want to just look at that one quote and think that it's all resentful and hateful towards Malik Willis.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, if you're Ryan Tannehill, all you got to do is really just got to put your head down. You just got to continue to work, because as of right now, you are the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, and so it's your job to lose. So just go out there and don't lose that job.
It's your job to be awful. That was how I heard that. It's your job to lose every game you play. But no, totally. Yeah, it's on right now. It's Ryan Tannehill's journey as much as it is Malik Willis's. They're separate but the same. They're on the same team, and like he said, if Malik Willis happens to learn from him along the way, then that's a great thing. That's great that Malik Willis can absorb a little bit from Ryan Tannehill, but he's not going to offer it. And again, that's totally fine. He's not obligated to. He doesn't have to set up his replacement before he gets fired. I have always thought that's been really weird, and it's just the children on the internet chastising him for not being, completely overjoyed that he's being tossed out of the building.
Mm-hmm. But, and the thing is, too, also got to remember, is that I don't think this is a huge message to Ryan Tannehill by the Titans, because in the first round, they traded away A.J. Brown, but then they replaced him with Treylon Burks. So clearly their main priority...
Another A.J. Brown. They got him another
Yeah, so their priority is to help out Ryan Tannehill. They could have drafted Malik Willis at 18 if they wanted to. Thank God they didn't, because they would have been able to get someone like Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
And who knows what Ryan Tannehill's reaction would have been if that happened, if Malik Willis went to them.
If Ryan Tannehill pissed in the sink after that, I don't know if I could blame him, really. If they did that, I don't think I could really knock him all that much, but... with everything being said and done after the draft, it's not a terrible move by them. And
I don't think so either. Especially just because of how late you got Malik Willis. You don't have to pay him anything. You don't owe him anything, really. I mean, he really has to come in and prove himself. I mean, when you spend a first-round pick on a quarterback, there's a lot of pressure that quarterback has to work out. Right. But if you're, I don't know, if you're Vrabel and Malik Willis doesn't work out, no sweat off your back,
no
that is completely fine. Just a great job just to throw a dart at the board and see if it sticks, see what happens. And so
it'll be interesting to see his journey. Didn't become a perennial Pro Bowler. Oh God.
I think you talked about last episode that Deshaun Kaiser, was a second-round pick, and he started for a year, and then they're just able to get rid of him right afterwards. Drafting these quarterbacks late in the second and third round, it's not a really big deal if they don't work out. You might as well try just because of how valuable the quarterback position is, and maybe you'll, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but maybe you'll hit, Andy Dalton hit in the second round. Or, more Derek Carr. That's a better example. How about that? Second-round quarterback.
Dak Prescott was
Dak Prescott was a fourth.
Yeah. So, Andy Dalton. That was the first mid-round quarterback
I was thinking of a second-round guy.
Fair enough.
Andy Dalton did have a semi-productive career. He went to the playoffs 6 times. Did he do anything in the playoffs? No, but at least he got there.
Congratulations. Blake Bortles won more playoff games than you.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. That was a period in time. Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. I can't even think about Blake. You know what? Blake Bortles, he was number 3 quarterback taken? Or number 3 overall, I should say, right?
Number
in this
3
draft?
overall.
Let's talk about another number 3 overall pick, because I want to talk about Trey Lance real quick.
Oh, my God. What a transition.
Thank you.
What a switch. Wow.
I'll be here all night.
Hats off to you, sir. Wow. Okay. Yeah, oh, God. Another fun one. I'm also excited for this one. Oh, jeez.
I'm just excited because everyone knows, no secret, I'm a Seahawks fan. So any opportunity I get to rip at the Niners, I absolutely love, because a report came out earlier today that the 49ers are, I believe the words were, severely underwhelmed by Trey Lance's development thus far.
Actually, it wasn't severely. It was continually.
Of course. So it's been an ongoing epidemic in San Francisco, basically.
An ongoing epidemic of horror.
And clearly they are holding on to Jimmy Garoppolo still. It doesn't seem like... Honestly, I can't see them trading away Jimmy Garoppolo at this point, because I don't think they're going to get any value for him. And they're not paying him a huge amount of money, so you might as well keep him, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's honestly... I do not think that Trey Lance is the lock for QB1 next season at the start of the season. Now he could come out and have an insane
Uh,
training camp,
it looks
possibly,
shaky
but
that he's a lock for QB2 right now.
yeah,
And
right.
that's embarrassing. This isn't like
Was it
John...
Brock Purdy? That was the
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant that might win QB2?
Yeah, Brock Purdy. Oh, God. Yeah, no, that's... And I mean, this isn't like Josh Rosen, who went at 10, started an entire year, and just the bed. This is the number 3 overall pick who has played like 2 or 3 games that you've already given up on.
Yeah,
Like,
and
so
someone
fast.
you gave up you had to trade up to get him, so you gave up a lot of assets to go up and get who you thought your quarterback of the future was going to be, and
now you're
yeah,
gonna
not even-
bail. Now you're bailing after 1 year of not really starting.
That makes me think of like now, like the more I think about it, it's like, was it really like whose guy was that? Was that John Lynch's guy? Was that Kyle Shanahan's guy?
Yeah,
Like,
is this like
who-
a Travon Walker situation? Who in the building
Yeah, exactly.
wanted him bad enough?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Honestly, I think a lot of people too now is they have this obsession where they have to get this insanely high upside quarterback. Like ever since Mahomes came into the league and has really just been insane with
They
his
think that
mobility
they
and his
think
arm
he's a
strength. Like,
formula. Like that's the build you want. Guess what? There's one, and he's in Kansas City. There aren't 5. That doesn't exist.
there will not be another Mahomes, and especially
Not in
not
the near future. And
not someone out of North Dakota State as
No.
well, might I add.
why does North Dakota State keep coming up? Why does the state of I can't name one thing in North Dakota that's not North Dakota State. I think that the Mount Rushmore is in North Dakota, but I can't say that for sure. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care all that much. Yeah.
Oh my god! But what were his? Oh yeah, like also I think he had good college stats, but that's like okay. You know who else had good college stats? Case Keenum had
Herschel
insane
Walker,
college
yeah.
stats.
Yeah, Case Keenum is like an all-time quarterback in college. So, yeah, whoopee. Yeah, Sam Bradford was unbelievable. Like, and the list goes on. Ryan Leaf, best quarterback in Washington State history. And you know what happened to him?
He threw like 20
Everything
interceptions.
bad.
And,
Everything
Was it-
bad that could have happened happened.
oh my god! Yep. Oh my gosh! It's just I don't know. Like Malik. Like all right. I feel for Trey Lance. You know, like I hope he's like I said with Ryan Tannehill. He's still a human being. Like
Okay,
I mean,
so
I don't
you
want him
have-
to not
you have
succeed.
He's a person sympathy for Trey
I do.
Lance.
As much as I hate the Niners, and I would love to see Jimmy Garoppolo start again, just because watching
Failure.
Jimmy Garoppolo play football is humorous to me. Just 'cause you never know what's going to happen with
Comedy.
that guy.
Just pure,
And, like,
unadulterated comedy.
I understand the process of the Niners to trade up and grab your quarterback of the future, allegedly, but honestly, like, I think they probably would have been better off drafting Justin Fields, number 3 overall, than Trey Lance. I didn't understand the hype. Well, I understand the hype because of his arm strength and mobility, but I mean,
Physical upside.
I didn't see the projection to like him being this crazy quarterback with high upside, because Mahomes, he like not only did he go to a great situation in Kansas City, and that's the thing, Trey Lance is also in a great situation, but you also saw like on tape like the flashes that he could be what he was, and he was playing for Texas Tech, who played against some decent enough competition, not
North Dakota Eastern defense.
Yeah, Eastern and
Eastern
Montana type
Washington
defense out
University
there.
Defense, yeah. It's like, oh,
Like,
congratulations.
well, I think everyone was hyping him up because he didn't throw a pick in college or something like that. Like, yeah, I would hope not playing in that conference,
in that division, yeah.
Like, I don't know.
great job.
It'll be interesting to see like what San Francisco decides to do at the quarterback position, because obviously I don't think they are in a spot to trade away Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's what's
I mean, obviously
interesting to
you're
me. Is even more interesting is that Jimmy Garoppolo is not going anywhere, and right now he seems to be their answer. Which a few years ago, God, it feels like a decade ago now when Garoppolo first got moved there. It was like, oh, this is their answer. Oh, they did it. And then for 2 or 3 years, it was like, oh, he's hurt still. And,
again.
Yeah,
and again. And again.
And then the year that he was like fairly healthy, they went to the Super Bowl. And this year they went to the NFC Championship on the arm of Jimmy Garoppolo. And somehow that worked. But yeah, I mean, it will be interesting because is Trey Lance even in their future plans now that he has sucked continuously for question mark amount of time? And
that's the thing you gotta look at too, is Jimmy Garoppolo just took them to the NFC Championship game, which I do not think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were planning on that, because honestly that puts them, they probably would prefer if that didn't happen, because now that puts them in a bind, because now if you replace Jimmy Garoppolo with Trey Lance, it's almost like you have to go back to the NFC Championship game or else it's seen as a failure.
Well, yeah, that's the standard. That's the standard that Garoppolo set, which is weird. Like, hearing me say,
I can't believe it.
Set the standard of excellence at the quarterback position. It's like, no, he just had a really well-rounded team, and the team functioned well in the offense that was set up for them.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, Jimmy Garoppolo, because that Kyle Shanahan offense is really really set up well for quarterbacks to succeed, without putting too much difficulty on the quarterback. So all he really has to do is just he really only has 1 or 2 actual reads, and because they're just schemed up so well, typically you're able to find them. So that's really all Jimmy Garoppolo was asked to do, and so that's why he was able to succeed. And so I think that's the worry with Trey Lance, is because he's so all over the place potentially. Is he going to be able to run the offense the way Kyle Shanahan wants that offense to be ran? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of times where Trey Lance might bail from a clean pocket when he's not supposed to, or miss an open read, or just straight up miss the throw. So there's a lot of question marks in Trey Lance's game that you wouldn't have with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now Trey Lance gives you that upside, the physical upside that we always talk about with Mahomes, and you see Josh Allen now with that upside, so that's what everyone's looking for. But I don't know, I think your offense is just, with Kyle Shanahan, you have such that advantage that Kyle Shanahan is your head coach and he's drawing up your plays because he's just a freaking genius.
Yeah.
Where is Trey Lance even worth putting in there because of the success that you could have with someone like Jimmy Garoppolo?
Garoppolo's safe, which is also
exactly.
weird. But he's
basically Alex Smith.
Option. Yeah, Alex Smith. Yeah, pretty much Alex Smith, and that is fine. That's fine. Just leave it. And
just because Garoppolo is Alex Smith does not mean that Trey Lance is Mahomes.
No, that is not what that means at all.
You're not going to see that transition.
I didn't even catch that as a possible leeway. No. One is not the other. Well, one is the other in one case, but then in the next case, one is absolutely not the other. One continuously underwhelms, and one is in every other commercial on TV right now.
Continuously underwhelms. What a funny way to put that. I can't believe that was the quote.
Yeah.
They could have put it it could have been a little bit lighter. Hasn't lived up to expectation, maybe, but underwhelming. My God,
continually underwhelming. Meaning he has sucked for a minute. That was a total slam on him.
Probably since last training camp back in 2021. Back 2021 June is probably when they've been noticing this.
Who thought that was a good idea to talk to the reporters and we're actually gonna say this. We're going to say to a reporter that, he just hasn't stopped being bad. That'll be good for team morale. And speaking of the 49ers fans, here's a smidge of bright side. Deebo Samuel refollowed the 49ers on Instagram.
So he is staying. Okay, that's right. That's right. Instagram is the end all be all. So of course he's gonna stay with the Niners now.
Speaking of which, also Robbie Anderson approved of the Panthers draft. So
Oh
done,
my
Panthers.
god! Oh my gosh! I was so worried about that.
God.
Oh, my heart was racing once you brought up Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter, they tell you all you need to know when it comes to your players, I guess.
Reliable insight.
Yeah, reliable insight. Yeah, so now that he's followed back the 49ers, great for the future. Great. Are they?
So,
they still don't have a deal done.
Maybe we'll be back.
Still
don't have a deal done, but honestly, I do want to real quick, give the Jets a round of applause as well, because I did say that they'd be better off going with Garrett Wilson over Deebo Samuel, and that's exactly what they did. And I think, come 3 years from now, they'll be looking back at that and be happy that they didn't give up that pick for Deebo Samuel, because I think
Jets
Garrett Wilson
had a great
will
draft.
be great.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Jets did great.
Somehow, surprisingly, might we add, because they are the Jets.
No, yeah, they have every opportunity next year to be better than the Patriots even. But that'll all come down to, I think, Zach Wilson's progression and how he comes along this offseason.
I haven't heard any reports about Zach Wilson continuously underwhelming, so I think that is a positive note, might we say?
No, we just see it on TV. They don't have to.
It's just not obvious. No one has to say it because it's obvious.
Yeah, they don't have to report it because you're looking at it. But I don't know. Depending on how he comes along in the offseason, if he gets, this is his chance. If he's bad now, then that's it. You've given him a good enough team that Mekhi Becton apparently wants to leave. But that's beside the point.
We'll see if there's anything happens there. That's just a little situation to monitor. But
yeah, what is it this offseason and everyone wanting to jump ship?
I don't know. I think that's just the day and age we got. Like, honestly, it kind of makes me a little sad to see all these players wanting to move, but it also makes it very interesting as well.
Oh, well, yeah. For guys like us sitting behind microphones, it's great. It's amazing.
Probably not that great for NFL GMs always having to worry about if their star players going to come up to them and be like, you know what? I want out of here. You're trade me or else I'm sitting my little behind on the bench.
I don't know
thanks a lot Le'Veon Bell for starting that.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know how GMs nowadays aren't just going home and just in the fetal position in bed like, will my star want to leave today? Because he feels his chakras are off and he feels like he needs to be traded or given $30 million. Oh, God.
His star sign says that he's not supposed to play for the Niners.
God.
Deebo's a Gemini, which means he has to play for the Lions.
Yeah, and he's a setting Taurus, which means he also needs $30 million. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. I guess people like us just don't understand now, do we?
Yeah, we're just not in with it. We're just unaligned. But maybe this shiny rock will help me reconnect with myself.
Oh my God!
Where is this going?
I think it's just best if we end it now.
Yeah, I think you know what, this is probably a good spot to wrap it up. So. For those that made it this far into this chaos, thank you for listening. We appreciate you for being here. Go ahead and if you could follow us on TikTok at 2ndandlong or on Instagram at 2ndandlong Podcasts, we would really appreciate it. And thank you for hanging in this long into our rock conversation. And our slam on astrology, but we
our real A+ takes on astrology.
Yeah, we just lost 2 future fans. Oh no! But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. I'm Joe.
I'm Gabe,
and we will see you guys in the next one.
Take it easy.